Disclaimer. This election night coverage does not reflect my views on a potential matchup, just my prediction given the randomized set of variables outlined in the review of the 2020 campaign provided, nor does it reflect an endorsement of either candidate covered. Good evening, America. It is election night here in 2020. As we've seen, our matchup is Donald Trump and Michael Pence versus Michael Bloomberg and Jerry Brown. Just a quick overview of how the campaign is shaken out so far. After a contested Democratic convention, Michael Bloomberg, who had the second most delegates and the third highest popular vote total of the Democratic primary, managed to convince a majority of delegates to nominate him on the fourth ballot. He chose as his running mate former California Governor Jerry Brown. Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont, declined to endorse Bloomberg, and by polling data, progressives seem to be following his lead. Donald Trump has campaigned on his record and a very strong economy that has bounced back from an early year scare over the coronavirus out of Wuhan, China. Closing on Monday at a record high of 240 points, the Dow Jones set a new record and continued to do so as of market close on Election Day today at 33,982. Going into the debates, Donald Trump held a modest lead in the polls. However, the debates, particularly the third debate, did not go in Bloomberg's favor. Donald Trump's numbers have grown significantly as a result of this, and it is agreed that Bloomberg performed terribly and that Donald Trump actually seemed, in the traditional sense, presidential. The current polling situation is nationally Donald Trump maintains an average lead of about 6 to 7% in the popular vote, with a low lead being reported as about 3%, and the highest recorded as of yesterday was 12%. The following maps will indicate the average, followed by the best case for Trump and a best case for Bloomberg based off of the polling data. This is the average map. As you can see, Bloomberg is losing ground considerably, with some traditional Democratic states being considered toss-ups. This is Donald Trump's best case scenario, with potential ground for expansion and even into Washington State, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Oregon, New Mexico, Colorado, and Delaware being the most notable map expansions. And Bloomberg's best case would be a tighter loss than the average would indicate, but still leaving ground for Donald Trump to improve on his 2016 election victory, with states like Minnesota, Virginia, Michigan, and Nevada being in the toss-up category, and with Connecticut and Delaware being competitive. And that's actually something interesting that we've seen in the polls, is that a lot of these traditional Democratic states are starting to become competitive, potentially due to Bloomberg's complete disaster of a debate performance on Thursday, as well as the previous debate performances. Even Oregon has looked competitive. And welcome to the 7 o'clock poll closings. We've got, 6 states closing, totaling 60 electoral votes, with 2 of them being considered traditional battleground states, Georgia and Virginia. And in Indiana, we can project that Donald Trump will carry the state and its 11 electoral votes. The Hoosiers go for Donald Trump. The same thing in the bluegrass state of Kentucky. Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 8 electoral votes. And Donald Trump will win the Palmetto State's 9 electoral votes. That is South Carolina voting for Donald Trump. In the state of Georgia, it is too early to call this state. However, Donald Trump has maintained a significant lead. Georgia can take its time when tabulating votes, though, so be aware we may not call the state for a while just because they count their votes slowly. And in the Commonwealth of Virginia, Oh, sorry. No, it is too early to call the state. My apologies. I don't know why I thought Donald Trump had won that state. No, it is too early to call the Commonwealth, though we have seen from exit polls that rural areas are actually turning out in larger numbers than we've seen recently. This could make it difficult for Bloomberg to carry the important Commonwealth of Virginia. It's yet to be seen, though. It has been trending blue in recent years, so we'll hold our breath. And in the state of Vermont, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner, carrying its 3 electoral votes. Nationally, Donald Trump has 28 electoral votes, and Michael Bloomberg has 3. In the popular vote, Donald Trump does hold the lead, but it's still extremely early in the night. And here is the map. States shaded red are projected for Donald Trump. States shaded blue are projected for Bloomberg. Any state in green, we do not have enough information to make a call. And any state that shows up in yellow, it is too early to make a call with the information that we have. And now for the 7:30 p.m. poll closings. Welcome back. We have 3 states totaling 38 electoral votes, 2 of those being battlegrounds, traditional battlegrounds, Ohio and North Carolina. In the state of West Virginia, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 5 electoral votes, the Mountain State. In the state of Ohio, it is too early to call. The Buckeye State, it is too early to call. And the same thing goes for North Carolina, the Tar Heel state. Its 15 electoral votes are yet to be allocated. And we do have a few key race alerts, which is in Virginia, Trump does have a lead, and there are reports that turnout is higher than initial expectations in rural counties. And in Georgia, Trump is expanding his lead, but again, it's still extremely early there. And nationally, Donald Trump has 33 electoral votes to Michael Bloomberg's 3. And Donald Trump leads the popular vote and the electoral vote. Again, it's still early. Anything can happen. And as you can see, here is the map. This is still a fairly standard map for this point in the night, given recent elections, so we'll keep you updated on anything that's different or any routes to 270. And now for the biggest haul of the night. It is 8 o'clock here on the East Coast, and there are a lot of states with 172 electoral votes up for grabs, with 4 traditional battlegrounds and 3 that have actually polled competitively in this cycle, including New Jersey, Delaware, and Connecticut. The traditional grounds being, of course, Florida, Pennsylvania, Maine, and New Hampshire. And in the state of Alabama, Donald Trump is the projected winner. And in the state of Connecticut, it is too early to call. And this is not good news for Michael Bloomberg. Same thing with Delaware. It is too early to call the first state. And we'll keep you alerted on these 2 as we continue on through the night. And in the state of Florida, which is the perpetual swing state and is perpetually close, it is too early to call, which is not unexpected. In the state of Illinois, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner, and that is not a surprise. In the state of Maine, which awards votes by congressional district with 2 at large, the at-large vote is too early to call that, and Donald Trump will win the 2nd congressional district, with Bloomberg winning the 1st. We're just waiting for the total turnout to appear. In the state of Maryland, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner, and the same goes for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner. In the state of Mississippi, Donald Trump will carry its 6 electoral votes. I don't know why our graphic is not projecting, putting that up yet. And in the state of Missouri, Donald Trump is the projected winner. State of New Hampshire, it is too early to call. It's 4 electoral votes, which was to be expected. In the state of New Jersey, it is too early to call. Again, we will keep you updated, but it is not good for Michael Bloomberg to see the state being as close as it is, or at least to have it too early to call on close. Donald Trump will carry the state of Oklahoma and its 7 electoral votes. State of Pennsylvania, it is too early to call this state, and, well, most of the vote we have is out of Philadelphia, and we expect that to the difference between Michael Bloomberg and Donald Trump to narrow over the course of the evening, and we'll know by about 11 to 12 o'clock where the state is going to go. Maybe it'll last till 1. In the state of Tennessee, they volunteer their 11 electoral votes to Donald Trump. And then the District of Columbia, our nation's capital, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner of its 3 electoral votes. And we do have a few key races. In Ohio, Trump continues to lead there, which is not really a surprise. It's becoming less of a swing state and more of a red state. In Virginia, Trump has reportedly flipped Prince William County and Loudoun County. However, these are just reports, and we're going to wait for the actual results to come in before we make a call. In North Carolina, Donald Trump is maintaining the lead, and in Georgia, Donald Trump also maintains his lead there. Nationally, Donald Trump has 77 electoral votes and Booker 48. Booker? Well, it looks like we're going to have to fire our graphics designer. That is supposed to say Bloomberg. Donald Trump does lead the popular vote, and as always, you need 270 electoral votes in order to win the election. And as you can see, we're definitely going to have to fire our graphics guy, as he has forgotten that the District of Columbia exists. I'll go meet with him in the next commercial break when we can, obviously. And it is time for the 8:30 closings, which is just Arkansas with its 6 electoral votes. And, of course, Donald Trump will carry the Diamond State. This is Bill Clinton's former home state, former President Bill Clinton's home state. And there are a few key races. Bloomberg's lead in Pennsylvania is shrinking. Rural counties are reporting record levels of turnout. We do have confirmed reports that at least a few counties have reached 85, and some are reaching 90% turnout levels. In North Carolina, Donald Trump is continuing to lead. Georgia is counting slowly, but Trump leads. Florida, Trump continues to lead after close. In New Jersey, Bloomberg does have a lead. Delaware is neck and neck, and so is Connecticut. New Hampshire, Donald Trump leads. Maine at large, Trump has built a lead, which we're waiting for more results, but we're starting to wonder if we're going to be making a call on that early in the night, which is a little unexpected. In Ohio, we do have a major alert, though, a major election alert, and that is Donald Trump has carried the Buckeye State and its 18 electoral votes. And nationally, Trump has 101 electoral votes with Bloomberg at 48. Donald Trump continues to lead the popular vote. And here is the map in it. Yeah, D.C. is still not shaded. And Maine is still listed as too early, even though we have it in the too close to call column. We'll see if those get changed. If not, we'll just leave them up for the night and allow y'all to look at that how you will. And if our reports out of Virginia are true, Michael Bloomberg is going to have to carry Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, probably Iowa, and almost certainly every Southwest state, including Arizona. in order to carry this, in order to carry the election. And that might not be enough. And it is 9 o'clock here on the East Coast. We have a lot of states totaling 156 electoral votes, with six of them being with six battleground states: Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan. And in Arizona, it is too early to call. It's still early in the night, obviously. Same thing with Colorado. It is too early to call in Colorado. Kansas will lend its 6 electoral votes to Donald Trump, and Louisiana will contribute 8 electoral votes to Donald Trump. Michigan is too early to call, and this is a state Donald Trump flipped 4 years ago, and we're going to see if he can make lightning strike twice. Minnesota, it is too early to call. This is a state Donald Trump failed to carry in 2016, but was extremely close to doing so. He's hoping that he can flip this state for the first time since Richard Nixon won it in 1972. In Nebraska, Donald Trump is the projected winner of all 5 of its electoral votes. We are making a closing call on the 2nd congressional district, which is extremely bad news for the Bloomberg campaign. They were hoping that maybe they could be competitive in the 2nd congressional district centered around Omaha. And in the state of New Mexico, it is too early to call, and its 5 electoral votes they might become necessary for the Bloomberg campaign. So keep your eyes on this state. In the state of New York, which is both Donald Trump's home state and Michael Bloomberg's home state, Michael Bloomberg will carry the Empire State and its 29 electoral votes. Though Donald Trump has officially moved his residence to Florida, we all still know he is a New Yorker. He speaks like a New Yorker. He acts like a New Yorker. He's a New Yorker. And in North Dakota, Donald Trump will carry its 3 electoral votes, and likewise with its southern twin in South Dakota, he will carry its 3 electoral votes. Donald Trump will also carry Texas's 38 electoral votes. This is a closing call, a little bit different than it was 4 years ago, where Hillary Clinton ran surprisingly close in the Lone Star State. Donald Trump has carried it, and this is, again, bad news for the Bloomberg campaign, who is hoping to maybe make inroads into the Lone Star State. And at this time, we can also state that we are getting reports that Republicans are going to expand their margin in the Senate and are looking poised to recapture the House. It looks like Bloomberg is dragging down a lot of down-ballot Democrats with him. In the state of Wisconsin, it is too early to call. And in the state of Wyoming, Donald Trump will carry its 3 electoral votes, the least populated state in the United States, but Donald Trump is nonetheless happy to carry its electoral votes. In the state of Rhode Island, it is too early to call, and the Ocean State is it was surprisingly competitive when we saw polls showing that Donald Trump was within striking distance of Michael Bloomberg here. And there are no real new alerts, but Donald Trump is continuing to have a very strong night from our election data. And nationally, Donald Trump has 167 electoral votes to Bloomberg's 77. Donald Trump continues to lead the popular vote by a healthy margin. We'll see how that continues on through the night. And here is the map. As you can see, Donald Trump is kind of running away with this one. That's not to say Bloomberg doesn't have a shot at winning it. He just absolutely has to carry the majority of the toss-up states, the majority of the swing states. But with the reports of Delaware and Connecticut and New Jersey being competitive, along with Rhode Island, it's going to be a long night if he does eventually win this election. And it is 10 p.m. here on the East Coast. Before we get into the presidential race, we can confirm that Republicans are going to expand their control over the Senate. And we can also confirm that Republicans are going to retake the House, and they are probably going to have a comfortable majority. There are two battleground states in this poll closing. Out of the states of Iowa, Montana, Nevada, and Utah, Iowa and Nevada are considered traditional battlegrounds. In the state of Iowa, the Hawkeye state, it is too early to call its presidential results, and we do expect at the end of the night this to be an important election, an important state. In the state of Montana, Donald Trump will carry its 3 electoral votes. And same thing goes for the state of Utah, where Donald Trump is expected to carry its 6 electoral votes. In the state of Nevada, it is too early to call. And we do have 2 major alerts in key races, New Hampshire and North Carolina. In North Carolina, the Tar Heel state, Donald Trump is projected to carry its 15 electoral votes. In the state of New Hampshire, Donald Trump is projected to carry its 4 electoral votes. And this is a flip from 2016. This is the first change in the Electoral College map from 2016. And nationally, Donald Trump has 195 electoral votes, currently needing 75 to carry the election. Bloomberg has 91 electoral votes, and Donald Trump continues to lead the popular vote. And as you can see, Bloomberg has a very narrow path now towards 270. Donald Trump, he doesn't need to worry too much. And it seems we're going to be making a call on one state here shortly in New Jersey. It seems Michael Bloomberg has carried New Jersey, though we haven't noticed it or gotten confirmation of that. It is 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have 5 states with poll closing. There is one battleground here, actually, and it's a new battleground for this election. Whether or not it's going to continue to become a battleground, we'll have to see, but that is the state of Oregon. In California, the largest electoral vote net in the election. In California, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner of its 55 electoral votes. In the state of Hawaii, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner. In the state of Oregon, it is too early to call. Most of its voting is done by mail, and we're just waiting for them to send in reports, but we have heard reports that it is competitive. In Washington State, Michael Bloomberg is the projected winner of its 12 electoral votes. Donald Trump has carried the state of Idaho, and it's 4 electoral votes. And we do have 4 key race alerts: Virginia, Georgia, Florida, and Delaware. And Donald Trump has flipped the state of Virginia. The Commonwealth of Virginia will lend its 13 electoral votes to Donald John Trump, who is the projected winner. And yes, we can confirm that Donald Trump has flipped Prince William and Loudoun County, and turnout in red counties spiked significantly based off of the reports we have. In the state of Georgia, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 16 electoral votes. And in the state of Florida, Donald Trump will carry the Sunshine State and its 29 electoral votes, the largest swing state. And in Delaware, Donald Trump is the projected winner, and this represents another flip from 2016. And this is extremely bad news for Michael Bloomberg, who now has to be very concerned about what his realistic path to 270 might look like. And nationally, Donald Trump is at 260 electoral votes, with 10 needed to secure re-election. Michael Bloomberg is at 162 electoral votes. And Donald Trump continues to lead the popular vote, and as we all know, 270 is the total needed to win. And we do actually have a major election alert, and we have learned that Michael Bloomberg has called Donald Trump to concede the election. We are not going to call the election until a candidate reaches 270, but this is a sign that Bloomberg does not see a path to that magic number of 270 electoral votes. And this is what the map currently looks like. And Arizona would do it for Donald Trump. And considering he has led every single poll there since June, I don't really see a realistic path for Michael Bloomberg to carry the election. He has to carry every state with greater than... he might need to carry... He needs to carry Arizona for sure. Looking at this map, he needs to carry Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania for sure, and then he has to deny 10 electoral votes in any combination. So probably means he also has to carry Connecticut and Rhode Island and Colorado and Nevada and Oregon and New Mexico. Well, it's such a... He has to win pretty much every swing state that remains, or every state that hasn't been called left, to truly ensure that he doesn't lose. And I understand why he's called to concede. We're not going to call it just because we don't think that's the right thing to do, but it is understandable. And it is midnight here on the East Coast, and we do have 4 major alerts, I'm being told, and none of them are good news for Michael Bloomberg. And the key race alerts are in Arizona, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Iowa. State of Iowa has been called for Donald Trump, who is the projected winner of its 6 electoral votes. And Donald Trump will carry Wisconsin and its 10 electoral votes. In Pennsylvania, Donald Trump will carry this state, which, along with Iowa and Wisconsin, he flipped 4 years ago, but Wisconsin and Pennsylvania are the extremely important states of those that he flipped. And in the state of Arizona, Donald Trump is the projected winner of its 11 electoral votes. And this means that Donald Trump has crossed 270. He's actually crossed 300, sitting at 307 electoral votes. This is larger than the amount of votes he got in 2016. Michael Bloomberg is at 162 electoral votes, and Donald Trump still leads the popular vote. And our major election projection is Donald Trump has been reelected President of the United States of America. And here's what the map looks like, and we are expecting... We've already seen an expansion of the map from Donald Trump. We'll see what happens in the remaining states that have yet to been called, but now we're sitting here waiting to see what the final margin is going to be. And it is 1 a.m. here on the East Coast. This is going to be our final alert, and then we're going to end our broadcast for the night and pick up tomorrow morning, or I guess later this morning. And that is, of course, Alaska, and its 3 electoral votes, which are projected for Donald Trump at close. Alaska will continue its streak of voting Republican. And we do actually have 2 key race alerts, Michigan and Rhode Island. In the state of Michigan, Donald Trump will carry this state like he did 4 years ago, and it's 16 electoral votes. And in the state of Rhode Island, Michael Bloomberg will carry the Ocean State, and it's 4 electoral votes. And this is probably one of the few cases of good news that Bloomberg has had this evening. Nationally, Donald Trump is at 326 electoral votes to Bloomberg's 166, I think. I don't know why it says 165. Trump is now projected to win the popular vote by some margin. He's currently at about 9%, but we expect that to narrow maybe to 8%. We'll see. And here's what the map currently looks like, with Oregon, Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Minnesota, and Connecticut still left to be called, and Maine at large. I thought we called that. We'll see. I'll talk to some people, and of course, DC is in Michael Bloomberg's column. It is currently Wednesday morning. 3 states were called during the night while we were off the air, and those were Nevada, Minnesota, and Connecticut. And I'm hearing news that Michael Bloomberg is not going to be thrilled with the result of these. Donald Trump has flipped the state of Nevada and its 6 electoral votes, as well as, Connecticut. Donald Trump has carried the state of Connecticut and its 7 electoral votes, and he has carried Minnesota and its 10 electoral votes. All 3 of these represent flips from 2016. And Donald Trump now sits at 349 electoral votes to Bloomberg's 166 electoral votes. Again, for some reason, D.C. is not showing up. Maybe it's a problem with our system. We'll have to check. Maine has still not been even moved from too early to call. I know there's votes out of Maine. I'll have to check those. Last time I checked, Donald Trump was in the lead with 99% reporting, so I'll talk to some people about that. And it is noon on Wednesday. I finally had some coffee. 1 state has been called since we reported earlier this morning at about 8 o'clock. Colorado. And a state was actually called late last night that we didn't notice, or our system didn't alert us to, and that was Maine. And Donald Trump has flipped the state of Colorado from 2016, and he will carry its 9 electoral votes. And Donald Trump is the projected winner of the state of Maine's 2 at-large votes. And Donald Trump has 360 electoral votes to Bloomberg's 166 electoral votes. As you can see, so our system must be glitched because Maine is still reporting as too early to call, though we have fixed our glitch with D.C. New Mexico and Oregon are still out. They are still outstanding, though we are getting reports that Donald Trump currently leads in both states. We just don't know if it's enough for him to hold on as more votes trickle in. It is Thursday at 6 p.m., and a state has actually been called since we reported yesterday at noon, and that is the state of New Mexico. And Donald Trump has flipped the state of New Mexico, and it's 5 electoral votes, which will vote for a Republican for the first time since 2004 when George Bush carried the state. Nationally, Donald Trump has 367 electoral votes. Michael Bloomberg has 166 electoral votes. And this is what the map currently stands at. So it's only 365 for Donald Trump. And of course, Oregon's votes are still outstanding. The last time I checked, Donald Trump had a somewhat narrow lead there of about 2.5% thereabouts. So we'll see what happens. All right. So we've finally called the state of Oregon here on Friday night at 6 o'clock. And that is the state of Oregon, which will vote for a Republican for the first time since George Herbert Walker Bush carried the state in 1988. Donald Trump is the projected winner of the state of Oregon, and it's 7 electoral votes. And that means we have the finalized electoral college map as well as the final results. Donald Trump holding 372 electoral votes to Michael Bloomberg's 166 electoral votes. And as you can see, this is the final map, which is a massive expansion of the map for Republicans. And it's reported that Republicans have 57 or 58. We'll have between 57 and 59 seats when all is said and done. We're just waiting on a few calls in that, and the Republicans are going to have a large majority in the House of Representatives. Whether or not this will be enough for them to hold on to the House in 2022 or 2024, we will see. However, this is a very good night for Republicans down ballot, and Michael Bloomberg has devastated the Democratic bench, as we can see. This represents probably the worst election loss a Democrat has suffered since Michael Dukakis in 1988. Anyway, I want to thank all y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Just remember, leave a like, comment, subscription if you truly enjoyed this, or if you thought it was valuable, or you thought it was entertaining in any way, shape, or form. I greatly appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone who's done so to this point in my channel's history. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Take it easy.